The Community of Nations have been discussing this issue of how to distribute the burden, who should take the lead, what should different countries do in addressing climate change for some 20 years now. And do you think our understanding of how these burdens would be shared has improved or changed over this time? Have we made any change in the way we think about that, and from Rio to, say, Durban most recently?
Yeah, you are right to say that at this moment it's 20 years that we are pushing arguments, making confrontations, conception, proposals, and so on and so on. And one thing is sure is that at the moment there is an old view that everything should be more acceptable if it is fair. So talking about justice is a way to make it easier, to have an agreement. And in fact, we have seen just the contrary in 30 years. The argument of justice we may see at best ambiguous, and in fact as a new obstacle to find an agreement. Because we have been observing very contrasted proposals coming from various parties. Some wanted, for example, a burden sharing based on per capita allocations to countries. Others wanted grandfathering. Others say you have GDP as the main reference. Some think that we have to take account of historical responsibility. Others say there is no point of taking account of historical responsibility because present generations have no control on decisions and actions made by their grandparents and grandparents and so on. So there is a huge and rather confused discussions about what justice is claiming in fact, beyond the agreed reference of the UN conventions adopted at Rio 20 years ago about the principle of equity without definitions, the principle of common but differentiated responsibility without specifying what are the factors of differentiation, and the question of capacities. So there has been two sorts of things. On the negotiations scene, there has been, I would say, a continued misunderstanding of the different parts. I don't think there is much progress on the interpretations of the justice requirement between North and South, between the European camps and the US, and so on and so on. From the academic debate, I think there is a huge clarification of the different issues and the different type of arguments about these issues. I think, for example, we know that there is 4 different issues of justice. The first one is the question of fair access to global commons, how we manage access to global commons. The second one is there is the issue of responsibility for damage, maybe. How are we going to assign this responsibility, taking account of past or not, and which factor determine this responsibility. The third one is about equity, how we take account of the unequal wealth and unequal income per capita worldwide. And the fourth one is the procedural justice aspect, meaning that every part should have equal access to the negotiation, to the process of rulemaking, to expertise, to the debate, and so on and so on. And it's difficult to have it at the moment because there is huge inequities in scientific forces of each country, of the force you can put in the negotiation, and so on and so on. So we know the issue, we know the arguments, but nothing decisive at the moment. And I interpret, in fact, what has been the turning point of Copenhagen in 2009 as a way to put aside this issue of justice in burden sharing and come back to not a top-down approach with principles, criteria, and so on, but for a bottom-up approach where each country says, well, this I am prepared to do, and I put it in the common bag, and we see after that. But we do not make justice some sort of preconditions of an agreement. Something more decentralized with specialized issues for forestry, for the technological transfer, for and so on and so on. And on the top of that, some assistance with the promise of financial transfers in 2020. So it's a mixed achievement in 20 years.
Good. This is your second year you've joined us for the executive training session of the Global Governance Program. And I'm wondering, how do you find the students, how do you find the participants in the program in terms of their participation, their qualifications, their interest?
Well, I think it's a very useful program because in 3 days they are covering the main issues, in fact, with high top level people making the teachers. So I think it's a very interesting operation to make. This is the reason why I accepted to come back for second year. In fact, I think the people are interesting when we discuss with them. They are coming from various regions, and in fact, and they have some culture of the subject, but to understand, but not enough to be already, or I know all these things, it's not useful for me, and so on. So they are just the competence to understand, but there are many things to learn. So I think the best situation we may have for other young people.